Hello and welcome, Charlotte here, and this is my very first video for the Little Paper Tree. Today I'm going to be making a video with lots of masking and ink blending to create a clean and simple scene. And I'm going to start out by stamping this unicorn from Avery Elle's Be a Unicorn stamp set. And I'm using My Favourite Things Black Licorice Hybrid ink, which is my go-to black ink because it's safe for alcohol markers and also watercolouring. So I stamped that directly onto my panel, and I have also stamped it onto some scrap paper. This is just regular printer paper, and I'm going to fussy cut it out, and this will be my mask. When you're creating a mask, you want to cut kind of almost inside the lines or like in the middle of the lines, not around the edge. This way you will avoid having a white border around the edge of your masked area, so it will be like a cohesive scene, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And when you're fussy cutting, you want to move the paper, not your scissors. That just will give you a smoother line and makes it much easier. And take it slow, that way you won't make any mistakes with your cutting. It does take some practice, but it's not too difficult. Next I'm going to turn this into a mask. As I said, I just used regular printer paper. You could use masking paper if you want, or post-it note paper. I used regular printer paper, and I'm going to use Tombow Mono Multi liquid glue on the back. This glue, if you leave it to dry, will be repositionable, so it's perfect for masking. You can also use, for example, a Zig two-way glue pen that would have the same effect. Once it had dried, I put it over my unicorn, and I also masked off the rest of my card base, so I just have a strip. So I have 2 lines of post-it tape either side, another piece of printer paper off to the side just to make sure I don't go over the edge of the post-it tape, and I also created a little curve to go under like as a hill. And then I'm going to start on my ink blending, and I'm using the Mini Clouds stencil from My Favourite Things to create my cloud background. And I'm starting with my darkest colour, which is Seedless Preserves Distress ink, which is a nice dark purple, and I'm just moving the stencil each time to get a different look of the clouds as I go. Once I was about a third of the way up my strip, I switched to my mid colour, which is Milled Lavender, and I'm again going to blend that in. And the easiest way is to start on the stencil and move off onto the paper, that way you're less likely to get splotchy lines. I did get one splotchy area, but that was my fault, so it's been a little while since I did this kind of ink blending. I'm a bit out of practice. And for the final colour, I'm using Spun Sugar just to the top portion of the card or of the strip, and again moving the stencil around. And the good thing about having this narrow strip is I have a lot more usability of the stencil. I can vary, because I'm not using the whole edge, I can use kind of just a piece from along the edge each time. I then went back in and blended over the whole strip with the Spun Sugar, the pink, just to knock back the white a bit. Then I'm going to remove my masks, and lots of people say that this is where the magic happens. This is where you can see how it actually looks. And I used my reverse tweezers to get away the fiddly little bits at the bottom, and then just pulled with my fingers. You do want to move quite slowly when you're removing your masks, just to make sure you don't rip the paper. I left the unicorn mask in place and masked the kind of negative portion of that hill that I had created at the bottom, just because I felt that needed a little bit of colour. So I'm just going in with just a hint of the Spun Sugar there to give some more definition to that hill area. And once I am happy with it, I will remove those masks and also remove the mask from the unicorn. And I like to keep my masks. My one did rip, the tail came off, but it will be easy to put back together, so I'll just store them with the stamp packaging and then I can use them again next time. I'm then going to colour in my image, and I'm using Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers for my colouring. These are my go-to alcohol markers that I have. I'm going to use 2 shades of grey to add some dimension and shading to the body of the unicorn. And then I will also go in with my blender pen just to blend it out to white. You want a nice juicy blender pen for this to really help move the colour to give that proper look of dimension. If your blender pen is dry, I have 2 blender pens and one of them is a bit drier, it doesn't work as well, so just something to bear in mind. I'll add a touch of pink to the nose and the inner ear of the unicorn, and then I did off screen add some grey to the horn just to give that some dimension as well. I'm using the same 2 greys for the hooves of the unicorn, but I'm kind of changing up the proportions of the colours so they look much darker because I used more of the darker colour, and I went back in with the darker shade as well just to darken up the very darkest areas to increase the contrast. I decided to go with yellow shades for the mane and tail because yellow is complementary to the purple, so I thought it would stand out nicely. And then I'm going to use my Wink of Stella glitter brush pen to add glitter to the mane, the tail, the hooves and the horn, because of course unicorns need glitter. Wink of Stella has kind of this is the clear one, and it has kind of goldish tone to it. There are some other glitter brush pens out there which have more silvery tones in their clear pen. So it really depends which one you want to use for the particular project you have in mind. But I thought the Wink of Stella worked very nicely for this, so that's what I went with. Then I will add my sentiment, which is from the same stamp set as the unicorn, and I'm using my same black ink for that. And I'll just double stamp that. Off screen I filled in the gaps in the letters of the word magical with a light purple pen just to help tie it in with the rest of the card, and then I'm going to adhere it down to my card base. I've covered the entire back of the panel with double-sided tape, and I've pressed my card right into the corner of the MISTI. That way I can push my panel right into the corner and it will be properly lined up. And then I'll just pull away the rest of the backing paper and that's nice and straight. And that completes my unicorn card. I hope you liked it. It's a very clean and simple card, very quick to make, but I think it's quite effective. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to click the thumbs up button. There are some more videos on screen that you may enjoy, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel and to the Little Papertree channel to see more videos. You can find links to all the products used in this video down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!